It's over!
He's done it again! Unbelievable!
Oh, straight into the roof of the net.
Nice one.
Straight down the middle. So a good performance from both teams here today.
Hi, welcome to Firstpost. I'm Rupha Ramani. Let's get started. On the show, there's a lot of cricket heading your way, but it has been that kind of a day. First up, what a historic moment it is for any South African cricket fan. They finally broke the semi-final jinx and made it to the first ever ICC World Cup final. And guess what? Their current skipper has a flawless record when it comes to ICC events. Is Aiden Markram going to be the man with the golden arm? There's a special exclusive interview heading your way too. Former India captain and one who led India to that historic series win over Australia, Ajinkya Rahane, gets candid and picks his World Cup favourite. You don't want to miss this one. And can Pakistan ever say no to controversies? Inzamam-ul-haq hurls ball-tampering allegations on India, and skipper Rohit Sharma hits back in equal measure. Stay on for all of that, but first a look at the headlines in Sports 360. We'll start with cricket. All is not well in the Sri Lankan cricket at the moment. Chris Silverwood stepped down from the position of head coach. This came after they failed to qualify for the Super 8s of the T20 World Cup. Not just him, former Sri Lankan captain Mahela Jayawardene has also stepped down from his position as consultant coach. Over in football and the Euros, Turkey beat 9 men Czechia 2-1 in a Group F match. 2 Czechia players were sent off during the game. It was level 1-1 until 4 minutes into stoppage time. Cenk Tosun scored the winner for Turkey, and that victory meant they finished second in the group and qualified for the round of 16. Cricket legend Kapil Dev has been named the president of the Professional Golf Tour of India, or the PGTI. It's a professional men's golf tour based in India. The 65-year-old was serving as the vice president previously. Kapil Dev took India to their maiden Cricket World Cup triumph in 1983. Over in tennis, former Wimbledon champion Andy Murray says he will make a last-minute call on his participation at the Grand Slam event. Murray had a back surgery last weekend and was doubtful for the competition. The Brit said he's doing 24/7 rehab at the moment to prepare for what could be his last at Wimbledon. Over in baseball, Shohei Ohtani helped Los Angeles Dodgers to a 4-0 win over Chicago White. He set a franchise record of 10 consecutive games with at least one RBI. RBI is a number of runs scored by a batter while hitting a ball. South Africa has lived through years of setback, plenty of heartbreaks, and a legacy that just refused to change, that of chokers. Just stunning pictures there, which tells the whole story. From bridesmaid of World Cups to now, just some hours ago, making it to their first ever ICC World Cup final. And you could see the emotions running high in those pictures, just a few of those. Strangely odd and gratifying too for a cricket lover to see happy scenes in a South African men's cricket camp after a semi-final match. Because every ICC tournament, it was the same story. So near and yet so far. They always walked into an ICC tournament as one of the favourites with a strong side. You look back, you see the likes of A.B. de Villiers, Sean Pollock, Graeme Smith, Jacques Kallis, Alan Donald, you name it, and all marquee names have been a part of this side, and yet they all had one thing in common: they never got past a semi-final of a World Cup. This Proteas side have finally done it. They beat Afghanistan in a very clinical, one-sided affair. A team that crumbled in an ODI World Cup not too long ago was redoing its own script. Of course, some of the social media memes taking the light-hearted side to all of this. But here's the thing about this South African side. They might have been exceptional throughout the tournament, but they aren't as threatening on paper as the Proteas teams of the past. They don't have a 360-degree factor like AB de Villiers, a charismatic player like Faf du Plessis, nor do they have the world-class all-rounder of the like of Kallis. No one half as brilliant as Sean Pollock or the calm and composed Hashim Amla in their batting lineup. But all of them have come together to play as one, as a collective effort to make every game count. That's taken them to this final frontier. Every match, there has been a different winner step up for the Proteas. Andrik Nortje delivered against Sri Lanka. David Miller won the game against the Netherlands. Hendrik Klaassen stepped up against Bangladesh. Tabraiz Shamsi kept up South Africa's unbeaten run alive. Quinton de Kock set the Super 8s on fire. And of course, we had Marco Jansen coming in just as hot. This has been the highlight of their tournament, that you don't need one superstar to carry a team across, just a collective team. And backing them all has been, of course, their strong belief that this year could be theirs.
It was about doing your best every game. Nothing different for today. I'm glad things are going our way. We believe this is the team to win a World Cup. Why play if you don't believe it?
Why play if you don't believe you can win at all? Simple and yet so powerful. That's the difference for South Africa this time around. They've got so far on the back of fumbling wins, close shaves, and holding their nerve against many opponents who pushed them to the brink. And so they are here at the final hurdle after almost losing quite a few matches. And that helps. Because unbeaten runs are impressive, but a failure in the early stages of the tournament paves way for championships. It gives you the opportunity to course correct. Take Australia in the 2023 ODI World Cup, for example. They lost their matches early on, just about qualified for the semi-finals, and beat India in the final, a team that had come in unbeaten. So South Africa now are prepared for the worst and have their best approach in the tank. The biggest MVP of their tournament. And surprise, surprise, has been their ability to play under pressure. Who would have thought that? And especially when you have this staring at you. A baggage of a past that has pulled you down over decades. Since they got back into the realm of international cricket, South Africa have lost 8 World Cup semi-finals. That's 7 actually. 7 times they've lost semi-finals. Initially, everyone thought it's just luck not favouring them, like the 1992 loss, which was down to DLS. But of course, where they needed more than 20 runs in one delivery, or the 1999 exit when Lance Klusen and Alan Donald were involved in a chaotic run-out. But then it became quite a bit of a pattern, and you see those heartbreaking scenes across every edition, whether it was 2015 later on, 2023 as well, and the years before. They say you're third time lucky, but I guess for South Africa, the misery was such that they had to be 8th time lucky, and this just to enter a final. But apart from the history of choking, the nation has been embroiled in some very unfortunate episodes that have marred them and the sport. Be it getting banned from international cricket for 21 years due to apartheid, onto the infamous Hansi Cronje match-fixing scandal, and of course, the race-related quotas. The history of controversies run very deep. Even before the tournament, the national team faced criticism for including only one coloured player in the squad. The quota demands too, so there is enough going on in the backdrop for any side to just lose its way. Yet this group has managed to hold on, and a huge credit for that goes to their captain, someone who's had his way in ICC events, be it the under-19 tournament 10 years ago or in senior cricket. Aiden Markram has a 100% win record as captain for South Africa in World Cups. He's the only South African cricket captain to win a World Cup. That was the under-19 ODI World Cup way back in 2014. The South African women's cricket team came this close last year in 2023, reached the final only to lose to Australia, but this year, come this weekend, is destiny. It awaits this South African team. Within grasp is something truly historical, magical, an opportunity to completely shed the trauma that South African cricket team has had to bear for decades. The baggage of the chokers tag that they will look to shirk off, and that's something worth giving it all for. In India's cricketing history, there are moments that will be remembered for years and decades to come, be it the 1983 and the 2011 World Cup triumph, even the 2007 T20 inaugural World Cup triumph, or Sourav Ganguly's famous Lord's balcony celebration. And in, of course, that famous, very elite list, there's one more moment, India's series victory over Australia in 2021. It was Ajinkya Rahane who took India to glory as captain. Rahane spoke exclusively here on Firstpost and reflected on the famous win. From emotions to the team atmosphere, Rahane shed some key insights from that dressing room that led them to this historic victory. But today we get you an excerpt from that interview where he talks about the World Cup that's on, the team dynamics, Hardik's redemption, and of course his favourites to win the title. There's also a candid rapid fire coming your way. Take a look. There's a very special episode here on Firstpost, and I'm not in our usual offices in the studio. I'm here in Mumbai, and when I speak of Mumbai and when I speak of cricket, there's very few faces who come to mind. He's someone who's sort of won a lot of hearts over by his calm presence. He's been an Indian captain in one of the most historic wins that will go down in the history books of Indian cricket, and pretty much a stalwart, a backbone of the Indian batting lineup. If I talk about a wall, there are two people who will come, of course. One who was a little later, who's right now in the US, but one who's sitting in front of me, Ajinkya Rahane. Thank you so much for speaking to me. First of all, thanks for giving time. I know you've been a little under the weather, but really appreciate this.
Pleasure, my pleasure.
Everyone says individual sport is so tough, it's just you, so it's more mentally draining. How difficult is it to be a cricketer, especially an Indian cricketer? In a dressing room, there are personalities, there are strong personalities. As a captain, where do you sort of maintain the relationship, the egos, the different sort of personalities there? How much of that is important in a team, especially a very, very big team like the Indian cricket team?
See, you have to maintain the balance, which I feel is really important. In the end, it's all about what is the best thing you want from the team, from each and every individual. For that, I feel you have to be sometimes very firm. You have to take calls, dropping a particular individual, but also telling him why is he dropped. Having that frank communication, which I feel is really important. Rather than if you drop someone and you are not communicating with him, then that player will be confused. So,
is that missing in Indian cricket at this point? Because I feel sometimes we're just so much into a legacy, into a name. These kind of things sort of miss somewhere, and that creates a bit of a unnecessary tension.
I don't think so. I thought since Rohit has become the captain, the communication has been really good, which I feel is a very good sign, very good thing. Rohit also understands the player really well. So I don't think at this moment there is any communication gap, because as I mentioned, since Rohit has become the captain, it's been really good.
I have to ask you this, Arju, because you've been you are a successful Indian cricketer. You've won amazing, moments for Indian cricket. Why is it still taking time for India to win an ICC trophy after 2011?
Oh, that's a tough question.
It's a loaded question, I know, but India's the most talented cricket team.
Yeah.
A bunch of such amazing talents, and yet why is it taking longer?
I think other teams are playing well. You have to say that. Indian team is strong. Indian team is really good. The other teams, they have improved their game. They're coming here and playing in Indian conditions, getting to know our Indian players. That's the advantage for them. Playing against them, playing against our bowlers. That's the advantage. They study well. They prepare themselves really well. So I think. Doesn't mean that we are playing bad cricket. I think we are playing good cricket, but other teams, they've been doing really well, and I hope Indian team in this World Cup, they'll do well, and eventually they'll win the World Cup.
I wanted to ask you about this World Cup. I'm sure you've got some games. You've managed to catch some games. The timing is a little off for a few. How is this shaping up? Your thoughts of how this World Cup was? Is it interesting that it was in the Americas?
I think cricket is evolving. Cricket is going everywhere now, which I feel going to America was a very good thing. It's developing. Cricket is developing there. Guys, USA team, we all saw they did really well. Guys from Mumbai did really well there. So it's a very good thing. Obviously the wickets were different, the conditions there were different. It was most of the games were low scoring, but now in the Caribbean it's going high scoring as well. So the World Cup, I thought it's going really well. The USA League was different, but now in the Caribbean it will be interesting.
Which team looks the most threatening, or which bunch of boys look the most threatening, and why?
Apart from India, I feel South Africa is looking really dangerous. They got really balanced. The team is really balanced. Their batsmen are in good form. Their batsmen doing well in IPL this season. Even before the IPL, they did really well. Their bowling attack is really good. So I thought, apart from India, South Africa is looking really good.
Well, so I want to ask you, as someone who saw this from closer quarters compared to us, Hardik Pandya going as a captain, because you know how it is to go in and take over from someone else as captain. For you, it was the Indian cricket team, it's even bigger. He went in as Mumbai Indians captain, the boos, the sort of pressure. Tell me how difficult it would have been for him, as someone who's also been in similar situations, as someone who's been a captain and who's seen pressure. How difficult would it have been for him, and how easy is it to come out of that?
See, everyone has to understand, people has to understand that a particular individual, he is representing our country. You have to support him. Hardik is representing our country, and now he's doing well for us. He's doing really amazing things. So I think it's important that people should support, whoever is the captain. If an Indian guy who is leading the team, I think if he's representing the country, he's our Indian guy, we should support him. I feel that is really important. And knowing Hardik, I feel he's a very confident guy, very positive guy. And I'm really happy for him the way he's doing at the moment in the World Cup with his bowling and also with his batting. I mean, he got a good 50 yesterday. So it was amazing. So I think everyone has to understand that a guy who is a captain in the franchise, I think should support them, should support him. Because in the end, he's representing our country and he's going to do well for us in the future as well.
Let's go to a rapid fire. Just some fun questions. Hopefully, you'll be able to give some spontaneous responses to this. The teammate who has been most annoying.
Annoying? The teammate.
Gotta be honest, Arjun.
Yeah, I'll be very honest. Teammate who's been most annoying. I think Chahal.
Why?
Why? I can't say why, but I think Chahal.
The one who can land a villain role in a movie.
The one who can land a villain role in a movie. Ashwin.
Can pull off the dialogues.
Ashwin.
The one who will always make you laugh.
One who will always make me laugh. I guess again Chahal and Rohit.
Can you share some moments?
There are funny incidents in the dressing room. Chahal, all know, he's a funny guy. Rohit, his inputs, even on the field, his...
Does that surprise you? It surprised a few people, but I don't think that surprises you.
No, not at all. Not at all.
The future Indian poster boy, the superstar that you think among the youngsters, who can be right up there?
There are few. I feel Shubman is doing really well. Yashasvi started his career really well, so he is doing well, but still early days. I don't want to talk about future poster guys so that it's a pressure, but I think Shubman and Yashasvi, they've been doing really well.
Nice. Thank you so much, Aju. As always, it's been a pleasure.
Pleasure. Thank you so much.
Wishing you all the very best. I hope to see you again soon and have another conversation.
Thank you.
Soon.
Thanks a lot. Thank you.
It's India versus Pakistan, not on the cricket pitch, no, and not in any other sporting discipline currently either. This is a verbal duel between two captains, one a current skipper and the other a former one. There has been a war of words between former Pakistan captain Inzamam-ul-haq and India captain Rohit Sharma. The reason? Inzamam has accused the Indian team of ball tampering.
When Arshdeep was bowling the 15th over, it was reverse swinging. Is that too early with the new ball? If Bumrah does it, his action is like that. When others with a specific action or speed do it, it means the ball has been prepared in a special way. If Arshdeep can reverse it in the 15th, there's been some serious work done on the ball. Umpires need to keep their eyes open.
Those are some serious allegations by Inzamam. He's accusing the Indian team of ball tampering. He's not only doubting Arshdeep Singh's skills here, but is saying the ball was altered during the game. Now, this is rich coming from a Pakistan captain who saw one of his own successors, Shahid Afridi, do this. Now, that was in the year 2010. Shahid Afridi thought he would get away biting the ball, but I guess he miscalculated that move and received a 2-match suspension for it. Shoaib Akhtar the same year did that, and he was a repeat offender too. So, and of course, then there was this famous 2006 ball tampering controversy against England, where Inzamam himself was the captain of the side. India or Indian cricketers have made no such moves. So, Inzamam, let's first look within before we throw wild aspersions out there on young cricketers who are highly skilled. Inzamam's statement, of course, also comes at a time when Pakistan's current skipper Babar Azam is himself facing match-fixing allegations from a Pakistan journalist. So, like Babar, should Arshdeep also send a defamation notice to Inzamam? Arshdeep doesn't need to go that far because his captain Rohit Sharma has hit back at Inzamam.
Wickets are so dry as you are playing in a sunny weather. All teams are getting reverse swing. Sometimes it's important to open your mind. You need to understand what the conditions are. This is not Australia or England. That's what I will say.
And if you caught that presser, you could see Rohit Sharma gesturing and pretty much telling Inzamam to use his brain. But here's the thing, instead of trying to give more useful suggestions to his own cricket team, the former chief selector is targeting other sides who have a World Cup to worry about, one that Pakistan is not part of. This doesn't fit right for a legend like him because he isn't just an icon in Pakistan. Inzamam's stature in world cricket is huge. And the irony, just recently, Pakistan's assistant coach Azhar Mahmood made a statement that falsely accusing people was ridiculous. Inzamam himself has played a lot of cricket in the West Indies. He should be aware of the conditions in the Caribbean islands. The cricket ball can reverse swing even without someone altering it. Maybe it's time the pundits focused on the chaos back home with their own cricket side. And Inzamam-ul-haq has a wealth of knowledge to share, though this statement puts quite a question mark on that too. However, there is a crisis that Pakistan cricket is currently battling. Their team has had a horrendous last 1 year, including a dismal performances in 2 World Cups. So maybe let's give some feedback first, directing towards our own side, and a constructive one at that. There are enough people keeping a watch over all that's happening at the World Cup. Time for last serve. This is surely the year for the underdogs. After Slovenia, Slovakia, Georgia have now qualified for the round of 16 at the Euros, beating Portugal. They're first in any major international tournament, and their fans were over the moon. More reasons why sport gives such unbridled joy to all its lovers. But this wraps it up here on Firstpost today. Do join me again tomorrow as we build up to the T20 World Cup final, which is going to be on Saturday. Stay tuned then. For now, bye.
Hello